Welcome back, guys and girls, and welcome to my recap on World's Strongest Man 2020. So I took the time to put together as much footage and photos from the week of events as I could. And obviously, as we know, coming up, we've got Oleksii Novikov of Ukraine winning his first ever World's Strongest Man title, and at only 24 years of age. I mean, this is something quite special. It's only his second appearance to World's Strongest Man. Last year, he didn't even make the finals. This is absolutely unbelievable. He was in Group 3, and as you can see, he was at the top by a good few points ahead of Stoltman and Caron at 47. So an amazing achievement for someone who is probably classed as an underdog. And I'll be honest, from my predictions, I didn't have him up there quite high. But you'll see I've got a few screenshots, some of the results. He dominated almost every event he did in the qualifying stages. Obviously there, he won his farmers carry in the first heat. That was actually the first event of the all the events of the competition, and I just can't believe how well this man has done in every event. He either came first or second. Not hardly any weaknesses, to be honest. And may I just add, he's one of the smallest guys as well. So here he came second against Trey in the squat lift, but still very impressive. So he just got so many points consistently. He's 6'1", 298 pounds, so he's almost 100. Well, he's about 100 pounds less in body weight than most of the bigger chaps like Brian, Haffer and whatnot. And also here you'll see the deadlift max. He actually sets a new world record, which apparently is quite. It's not necessarily true from what I've heard. There's another chap, an American chap who done it. I forget the name of it now, but I mean, still, irregardless, he got the most points for the deadlift max. Of all the athletes, he showed that he is the strongest guy there, essentially. Even Eddie Hall rates him for his ability, for his height and stature and whatnot, to be able to be mechanically an advantage because of his proportions. And I would agree with him. And funny enough, he doesn't actually train for deadlifts. An interview at the competition, that he hadn't actually been training for deadlifts. He only done one max deadlift attempt before the comps. Hadn't really been focusing on that, but he believes that 18 inches is easy for him, and he's like, yeah, I'll just go up to it and just give what I can. It's clear to see that he is a very good deadlifter. So I think he's someone to watch in the future. Obviously, it was 18 inches off the floor, so it's a lot easier than doing it from the floor. But irregardless, I mean, for his size and his body weight, that's crazy amount of weight. And he, because he's so young, he didn't show any signs of slowing down, no fatigue, no injuries, he just kept going, just kept coming back for more. And I don't think a lot of people had him on their radar that he was going to be so good. From what I've seen in footage before his training, he was focusing more on pressing, doing lots of incline pressing and bench pressing, surprisingly. Obviously more bodybuilding, but of course still does benefit you for the upper body strength. So he definitely shows that he's got some tremendous pulling power, and obviously won that event, another event of many that he won on the day, ultimately leading him to having such a good lead above everyone else. He became the man to chase. And again, it's just crazy because he's a rookie. He's an underdog and a novice to it, really. He has been other comps like Worlds, also at Strongman and whatnot, but he hasn't been around for very long. So an amazing achievement, really happy for him. And also he's only the second man from Ukraine to ever compete and obviously win it. So the first person to win it. So an amazing achievement. I think now in the strongman world and community, he's someone to definitely not be underestimated and to definitely be celebrated, and also slightly be intimidated by, because for his size to have that much power and strength at such a young age, I mean, he's just reaching his prime. He's still got more years in him. He's competing with people who are 10 years or older than him or whatnot. And, if he doesn't get injured, he's up there with Matthias Kudasowski, because obviously he didn't compete. And he's my favourite. He was my favourite before, obviously, being injured and unable to compete. So I think now those two, being Eastern Europeans, it's going to be quite an interesting fight amongst those two in different competitions, especially for World's Strongest Man next year. So hopefully they'll both be there and we can see what will happen between the two, because I think that would be definitely a fight to death, because they're both young. They're both, really ambitious. They're both hardworking. I do like Novikov because he's really humble. He's not arrogant. He's not like, oh, look at me, I'm the big I am. He's only a uni student. He's a young guy. Like, you think he'd be arrogant and whatnot, but massive respect to him. So well done, Novikov. So obviously Tom Stoltman, he came second, and rightfully so. The guy was battling amongst the other top four, which obviously was Novikov. He was in the same group as him, Group 3. against Caron, who came third, obviously, and also Pritchett. So you'll see he came second with 43.5. Not too much of a lead over Caron, but nonetheless he got that second spot. He obviously dominated the Atlas Stones as we were expected, taking those vital points, which was the last event, may I add. And obviously this was the key one for him to get that second place spot. Now, some of you don't know that Tom, he's competed 3 times now at Worlds, and last year he actually tied 5th with Brian Shaw. Obviously only been his second appearance, and he was only 25 at the time, so again a rookie. Only done two major events like that, but still tied with a 4 times world strongest man champion, albeit Brian is a lot older than him. But in terms of stature and weight, they're quite evenly matched. You know, both guys 6'7" or 8+, really heavy, and nonetheless alpha in that aspect. But Tom, again, look, he took another a win here on the log ladder. Surprisingly, a lot of people didn't expect that, but he took it and he deserves it. And I think, you know, to be on his 3rd appearance taking second, he should be very happy of that, because it certainly wasn't an easy competition. There was a real hustle and fight amongst the top 4 that I've covered in this video, and no one made it easy for him to get there, but he proved himself. Yes, he's got weaknesses still, he needs to work on a few areas. Some of the events didn't go so well for him, but he won key events that he's good at. He needs to work on others where he could have claimed more points, because if he did, I mean, he wasn't too far off Novikov. I'm sure he's obviously very happy, but at the same time a bit gutted that he lost out on such events like Hercules Hold and whatnot, because that let him down with a few points. But from what we saw, that was the same for many of the athletes on the days. You know, some of them did really well here, others failed there. And as you see, there's been many different changes this year to the events, with a lot more focus on athleticism, you know, movement, speed, power, in different manners, not just static raw power strength, you know, just being the biggest and the strongest. There's more elements to it now. So take home note for him, and he's going to come on and do bigger things in the future next year, I'm sure of it. So well done, mate. So 3rd place spot went to JF Caron, obviously the Canadian chap. So he's actually he's 38 now, so he's getting close to the Masters level. He was in Group 4. Obviously no one else from this top 4 was in that group. And as you can see, he's only 1.5 points behind Tom Stoltman, so not bad at all. He did come first in quite a few of his events in the qualifying. So you see here the Farmers Walk, he was first. May I add that Caron has actually been in 10 World's Strongest Mans, and he's actually been in the final 8 times. Now, last year, annoyingly, he came 4th, so he just missed out on that podium spot. But finally this year, and well deserving, he made that podium. And a lot of guys were rooting for him. I mean, I don't underestimate him in any way. He's a world record holder. He's a boss when it comes to the strongman industry. And you can see here as well, like he came first in the Hercules Hold. So that was another one people were surprised by. People were thinking probably Mark Felix to get that. Obviously he wasn't in the finals, but he took some valuable points there, which definitely helped him get higher up in the heats, because Jerry Pritchett was chasing him down as well. It was a real, like I said, a real hustle between the two. The Scott lift here, so obviously this was the qualifying section. Again, he came second, so getting some good points there to go forward. And overall, you know, the guy, he was just consistent. Even though he's older, he's got that experience from competing so many times before. Obviously, many other competitions he's done in his career. And I'm really happy for him. It's nice to see, you know, a Canadian on the podium. And also, this is the first year, by the way, in many years. I think 2012 was the last time there's not been one single American. So it's interesting. You've got Canadian, Scottish and Ukrainian. So 2 European and obviously 1 North American. So I'm sure the Yanks aren't going to be too happy about that. But Jerry Pritchett was top 4. So, you know, you've got one Yank up there who's also an older athlete in the sport. So well done, JF, you smashed it, and I'm sure you are going to be super proud because you've earned that trophy. So roll on next year's, let's see if you can get higher on that podium. So lastly, obviously I mentioned with Jerry Pritchett. So Jerry Pritchett, actually, he's been around for a long time. He's very well known powerlifter as well as strongman, and his best placing was 9th at World's Strongest Man 2014. So Again, looking at the points here, he wasn't far off Caron, only 2 behind, which is I'm sure he's very frustrated by that, because he could have done even better. In the heats, in the qualifying heats, he took first place there in the deadlift, as you can see, but we know with Jerry, he's one of the best deadlifters in the world. He can get over £1,000 quite consistently. He's shown it at Giants Live and other competitions he's done. He took the first in Farmers Walk as well in event 1, again in the qualifying stages. And, you know, the guy, this year, he was very lucky. He's had a lot of bad luck with injuries over the last few years. He's not been able to compete as he's wanted to, you know. He has been in the World's Strongest Man appearing since 2012. And I was really happy, actually, for him, because I think a lot of people don't really, you know, rate him as much as they do. So in here, Giants Medley, he took third. Getting some good points there, showing that he's not just a deadlifter, he's an all-round athlete. And even though he's a lot bigger than some of the other chaps like Novikov, he still can move and he's got good fitness. So it's not like he's just some fat piece of shit who's strong. He can actually move and keep up with everyone, especially for his age. Well, so again here in the qualifiers, another overhead press log. He got the full points there. So, you know, event after event, he was winning. And that's why people are starting to get a bit rattled, thinking, okay, Jerry might have a chance here. And again, here in the log ladder, he beat Novikov, obviously the winner, took second place there against Tom. So another surprise, and this was in the finals, to get those valuable points. You know, for me, I was quite surprised in the log press as well, because I've not really thought of him as a good presser, more like pulling power and strength. So he definitely surprised me there, and I was really impressed, to be honest. And I think the guy should walk away and be really proud, because he's not come to this level ever. And it's, you know, it's been a crazy year for everyone. Obviously they had it all messed up. They had to, you know, do some of the events indoors because of the hurricane, and some outdoors, and they had delays because of COVID and all this and that. It's not being the ideal settings for anyone. And, you know, Jerry, yes, he's on his home soil, but he smashed it. So congratulations to those top 4 guys. Obviously, luckily, we haven't got to wait too long for the actual full footage, which is going to be on Channel 5 in the UK at Christmas time. So just a few weeks really now, rather than months. And obviously on CBS, the standard CBS, I believe, in America. So well done, chaps. Massive congratulations to you all. Commiserations to anyone who obviously lost out just slightly, and everyone who was injured and had to withdraw for various other reasons due to COVID. So anyway, guys, hope you liked today's video, and if you did, as always, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you soon. And Big One Fitness, signing out.